Hi everyone, Raphael Harry here, and you're listening to White Label American, a podcast where we hear stories from an immigrant or two, sometimes more. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. All right, welcome to another episode of White Label American. Thank you all for joining us today. Before we begin, I would like to say thank you to Elena, Sarah, Danielle, Jeff, and Mark, the patrons of this podcast. We appreciate you all and thank you for your support. And hey, if you want to be a patron, there'll be more information later on about how you can go about it. And please, we need more supporters, so feel free to join them in taking us to the next level. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Subscribe and give us 5 stars and push us further on iTunes and Stitcher. So, without much further ado, let's jump to today's guests. I am blessed to be in the presence of royalty, the legendary princes. Or is it kings I should go with? Let's go with princes. I'll go with princes. Princes. You know, I'm not going to say where they're from because they're going to tell us where they're from. But they are princes. So Bileko Wissa and Julien. I ain't gonna try the last name. I would have tried it. Let me try it. Julien Tshikuna.
Tshikuna. Yeah.
Did I get it right? I was close. I watch a lot of the Leopards, you know. I'm used to a little bit of the names. So they are comedians extraordinary. They are podcasters. And they are leopards amongst other titles and talents. And they have great content online. And, you know, these guys they're great inspirations of mine. They are the guys behind the Bantu Boyz podcast. And they're just fantastic people, man. They're fantastic, great inspiration, great talent coming from the continent. And I recommend you guys check out their podcast. They're great supporters also of this podcast. And also go on Amazon Prime Video and check out New York Laugh with Africa. You see more of their talent there. So welcome on the show, guys. How y'all doing today?
Good. Thank you for having us. Go ahead, Bileko.
I was just say thanks for having us, Raphael. I'm real excited. Thank you, man.
Hey, the honor is all mine. And we're going to learn a lot today. So thanks for coming on board. So without much further ado, where you all from? Can you all introduce us to your childhood and where you were born?
Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So my roots are from, obviously, we all Africans in here. So from the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, and I was actually born and raised in Belgium. I grew up in Brussels, the capital of Europe, and Belgium.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I grew up over there. I had a great time with big family, a lot of siblings, half siblings and stuff like that. And so my childhood was, I had a lot of disturbance, a lot of moving around, from school to school, from houses to houses, from different siblings to another siblings. So I had a lot of, craziness, but I wouldn't change anything. It's all of that made me who I am today. So great.
So you had a lot of competition.
Oh yes, always.
Right. that explains why you're good at banter and all the comedic side. You had a lot of practice early on.
Please.
So what about you, Bileko?
Family background, of course, like DRC, Congo. My father's from a town called Kisangani. My mom's from Kinshasa, but I was born and raised in Los Angeles. Grew up in LA. I have 2 siblings, 2 sisters. I grew up here in LA. That's why I don't have the accent.
Yeah.
Very Americanized. Growing up here in LA, I grew up in LA in a time where it was like the riots and gangbanging was at a high. You can't wear certain colors and stuff like that. like even now, like I have this necklace and there's like a red jewel. I would like growing up, I would have never wore this.
Oh,
Yeah, you know,
that would have made you what
you'd have
the
been like a target.
cribs?
Yo, yeah, it would have made you a target. So like, just for example, like I'm 35, so I remember being like 15 and going to a high school where a certain gang wore blue, but I like Jordan. You know what I mean? So Jordan was black and red, you know, Chicago Bulls shoes, but then I painted the portion of the red gray, so it wouldn't be like, yeah. So, you know, like Julien said, this is what made him who he is. This makes me like who we are. And I think what's great about us being in this group is because so many Congolese people or Africans, period, they either go to Europe or they go to the States, right? Or whatever. Right. You can see the difference of like us of how like Julien's in Europe, and we try to tell people like how different it was for him, how it was for him growing up, and me in LA, specifically LA, because LA is different. Like it would be, you know, you're in New York, so like the subculture in New York is different than LA. You know what I'm saying? There's so many subcultures in the States or whatever. So yeah,
of course.
So, yeah.
You know what's funny? I've never been to LA, but LA has had so much influence in my life. So especially with the hip hop and you know, but it's so crazy how we took a lot of we went from liking music and then try to be went into the gang side of it too. And you just reminded me of my it was my early 20s because I was still in Nigeria, my early 20s, and I moved to my favorite city of Port Harcourt, and I was doing this thing where I was brand new in the town, in the neighborhood, but for one day I would just wear yellow shirts. The next day, for like 1 week, I would just wear yellow, everything yellow. Next week I'll wear like red, and the third week but for some weird reason I just did that. Not like I had any agenda or any plans, but I just did it without thinking. And by the fourth week, there was a guy who came to me. So in that neighborhood, everybody had nicknames that they went by. I don't even know. I don't know his real name to this day. And I think his name was Yellow Pigeon. Yellow Pigeon came to me and was like, "Hey man, I see you in this neighborhood. You're a new guy." I said, "Oh yeah, how you doing, man?" And he's like this tall, very tall, light-skinned dude. So I'm good, brother. I'm good. He shake hands and he's like, "So how you doing? How you doing?" I said, "I'm good." He said, "Oh, so how you doing?" He asked me like the third time. I'm like, "I don't get it. Why are you asking me how am I doing like 3 times?" And he shook my hand again. But when he shook my hand, it like tickled my it felt like it was tickling my palm. So I'm like, "Hey, what's the meaning of that?
What is this?
That's weird." And then he walked away. So another friend, the first friend who I'd made in the neighborhood, luckily was one of the guys who was much wiser. And he came to me and was like, "Hey, what did Yellow Pigeon want with you?" I was like, "I don't know. He just asked me how am I doing, that he's seen me around the neighborhood. I'm a new guy." And he's like, "Oh, he's trying to identify you, what gang you belong to." Right. So did you tell him that you're a Jew? That's the crazy thing. The code for the people who don't belong to a gang was Jew. That was the street slang that we had. I was like, I don't even know what that is. I'm brand new here, so I will identify myself with that. And he's like, "Oh, hold on." So he runs up to Yellow Pigeon and talks to the Yellow Pigeon. Yellow Pigeon, "Oh, okay." And he nods his head. So apparently the answer I gave him by saying I am good was also a code for a gang. So they had identified me as a gang. Oh, wow. That's why he asked me 3 times to make sure I was identifying myself properly. So he asked me, "How you doing?" So according to the language they speak that they have, when you're in certain neighborhoods, they ask, "How you doing?" You don't answer, or you just say something stupid, and they're like, "Oh, okay, this guy he's not one of them." But by just the colors I was wearing, they were trying to identify, okay, what group does this guy belong to? Who's he? Who's he? We need to know. And
that's so funny because the number one export of America is the culture. You know what I'm saying? And it's always influenced by music. So to think even there's gangs everywhere, right? But that's crazy.
Oh yeah. And the only difference with a lot of our gangs in Nigeria, I call them gangs, but we call them cults, is that you have to be in college for you to be a member.
Belongs in a cult.
Oh man, yeah, so fun memories. Like there are countless number of times I would go to a different area. Like if you're going to some areas in Port Harcourt, you just have to make a phone call and say, hey, as soon as you're on a motorbike, because you use motorbike as transportation, so you're on a motorbike and you're approaching the person's house. If it's somewhere that is not like well lit, you don't know that neighborhood, you just start calling. Like if you had a cell phone, you call while on the bike. If you don't have a cell phone, you made a call like just before you got on the motorbike, like, hey, I'm on the motorbike coming, so come stand outside. Because if you had callers that just looked that identify with the wrong group in that neighborhood, man, they're coming for you. You just see a little kid run up to you like, hey, how you doing? You're like, hey, I'm good. You just look, how are you, little boy? How are you? And as soon as you try to pat the little boy on his head, you just see a little, he's pointing at you, a little shiny pistol. Like, hey, okay, come with me. Like, oh man, they got me. I'm terrified. Hey, but back then, the dudes still gotta go look for girls. So, I was still going to the neighborhoods I wasn't supposed to go to, and I guess that's why when I joined the Navy, and Navy said, "Don't go to this neighborhood in the Middle East." I was like, "Bro, I've been, I've been doing it already, so you can't stop me." But yeah, it began. So, without going too far, sticking with your childhood, what would you consider your favorite childhood memory?
Go ahead, Bileko.
Favorite childhood memory. Favorite childhood memory. I don't know. I played basketball. I played AAU out here in LA. Wasn't really that good, but whatever. And I probably say is like I went on. I was playing ball and I ended up getting a scholarship to like this prep school. That'd probably be like my favorite like childhood memory, or that I can think of the top of my head. Yeah, probably that.
Yeah, you won a tournament, and African parents. That's big with African parents.
But you know what's crazy? Like my mom didn't understand it. Because when you come here to the States, it's just like, no, just go to school. We're just trying to survive because we left back home. So my mom didn't understand this concept of like, what are these white dudes keep coming to my house talking about come play in our tournament? Like she didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? Because like Kobe Bryant, God bless the dead, and Michael Jordan, that's over there.
Yeah.
That's not because there was Akeem and Mutombo, but they're 7 feet.
That's
right. We don't understand the concept of you get a full scholarship to play sports. Like there's a lucrative career in sports. We clearly see how much money is in sports entertainment. So she didn't understand that. My family didn't understand that concept. They're like, okay, your little hobby. You heard him say? Because we play football.
That's the mindset of a whole lot of us, right.
Plus it's not football.
It's like our generation that started changing it.
Right. And plus it's not football.
Yeah. Which is the number one thing. You're not good at football. I can't come from Africa. You can't play football.
Right. No. Right. If it's not football, it's like, well, you're not really an athlete because we're the first generation here. So I'm like, no, basketball is real. They don't. The adults, they didn't understand that concept. So that was probably, take away that was probably my favorite memory as a child. Like, oh, that was great. Oh, it was wonderful. Oh, it was great.
Oh yeah. I actually, I don't know. Did you want to add anything? So actually, it's a very there's a lot of similarities. I had a very nice childhood memory when actually, so I was playing soccer. I was good at it,
Yo, I see your skills. You're good. You're much better than me.
I think I was good.
Offside. That's my favorite position. Offside.
Yeah, but I was, like a decent player with a lot of technical skills and stuff like that. And I was mostly like in a nice group of young, just young with the same age. Yeah. So we went on a tournament in Holland.
Oh,
this
nice.
Like end of 90s, 99, 2000,
Wow.
Like probably like 12 to 13 years old, something like that. We went to Holland. but the tournament was great. But what was, much better in terms of memories was the fact that we had so much fun. Like at that age, you don't even get to see, all this bullshit that, that we can see in the society today, such as racism and all these things, just like having fun, a group of young players, having fun, and the coach too from Spain. We have people from Turkey, from Morocco, from all over the world,
Wow.
and we
So
share.
you got to enjoy the sport for what it is.
Exactly. And what was the best? It's actually I discover my gift of comedy over there. I didn't even discover, like my coach literally, and we still have footage. They send me footage, and they were like, so after the game and the practice, we will come back to the camp, and I will just like, people will put chairs, and I will do shows, man, just like that. Yeah, and this is like one of the best time of my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the coach was like, they were like, hey man, did you ever think of, pursuing comedy and stuff like that? I was like, no, whatever, Even years later, when I was trying to, because I stopped soccer at one time and then try to come back at it. And my coach, the same that I had before, was like, man, you still didn't pursue it. And that's when like it hit me. So those are the best time of my childhood memories, I would say.
See, that's why I love asking this question, because I can't recall how many guests we have found a correlation of what they are doing now that you can trace back to their favorite childhood memories. There's always something that you can tie from what they were doing now or what they claim to be their favorite childhood memory, that you see a characteristics in either their leadership quality or their gifts that maybe they just didn't have the right word to describe this as something that they could make a career of. So that's like my favorite question to ask on this podcast, like your favorite childhood memories, because you just don't think about it, but your mind just takes you there, and all of a sudden you're like drawing. You just see the thread connecting you from the past to the present.
Right.
So it's a powerful thing, and it's just beautiful hearing it.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's so beautiful. So, despite not being born in DRC, you guys have a strong attachment to your ancestral home.
Yes,
and when did you start to like notice, or how will I put it? When did you your attachment? How did you like? When did you come to the first realization that you were Congolese, that the Congolese part of you existed?
I'll start. I've always known it just because of our name, like my name, right? So like I'll be in school. I mean, I remember being like 4 years old, and I used to get tested on what's your name, where are you from, right? My mom would like, so African people, we have like 7, 8 names, so like I would be tested on all my names, right? So I've always known it, and then I would like the first movie I saw was Roots.
Wow, that's deep.
So like I grew up like you were gonna learn like Black and African history, right? So like I would go to school. I remember being in kindergarten and telling my classmates, "No, I'm from at the time Zaire. I'm from Zaire."
Yeah.
So I'd be 5, 6 years old saying I'm from Zaire. And then as I got older, like say my Black American friends, because we playing basketball, and you're trying to identify with people that look like you or whatever, right? They'd be like, "Man, you have an African name." I'd be like, "No, I'm from Zaire." And they'd be like, "Oh, your mom has an accent. I thought she was Jamaican." I was like, "No, we're not Jamaican. We're from Africa, this, that." So then even I'd be like 10 years old and be like learning lessons.
Yeah.
Like, so they'd be like, "Oh, what about like my older sister had it rough, where she would get into fights in African booty scratcher." But me, because there's also a difference of being a boy too. Yeah. Like, because a dude can defend himself, one, but two, like, I played sports. So in America, we idol worship athletes. So if you play sports at any level, you're always going to get a pass. You're always going to get, "Oh, well, he's good at basketball." So I wouldn't have those problems. So then it'll be like, "Oh, he would teach You know what I'm saying? So I always caught myself too. It was real weird. I'm very fortunate because other relatives, they're getting like major fights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I always knew it. Yeah. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
No. It's very important. So me, like very, very early, honestly, like I was, because I grew up with, with my siblings, my sisters that, they were from, they came from the Congo. So I grew up learning Lingala already, like 5, 6. I was very curious as a kid, like I was very curious. So I always grew up with that at home, at the house. I will talk in Lingala. I will ask questions. How do you say that? How do you say this? And so to me, I feel like I never asked. I mean, I never realized that thing. I just like knew it. That's how I feel. It was just part of it. This is a fact. This is who I am. This is my culture. And the rest was just like, okay, discovering the historical connection between where we're from and our own environment in Belgium. So learning about the colonization, the history, why I was born here. Okay, colonization, my dad's history and stuff like that. So that was my thing, my journey.
Yeah, it's something that because I grew up with Zaire too, and for most of my life it was Mobutu Sese Seko. Who was the man. That's why I'm always asking for his hat, because that's the guy that was on the picture, and and then
all the money too.
When he passed away, I was like, oh, there's this people been in power for long. It was like a shock that, wow, someone like this can go. But it was just like a world away from, because you don't really know anything, you don't really meet anybody from there. You just exist. Like Nigeria was just in its own planet. Like even the people who were around Nigeria, I had like one Cameroonian in my school. And like I've said in earlier episodes, I was really big on being a British subject back then. It was we colonized by the British. I didn't even realize that Cameroon was part of the Commonwealth too. Thanks to the deal. With the split. So but we didn't treat the boy right. we used to talk trash at him because we thought he was a French. He was from a French colony, but but it was like Nigeria. Why Nigeria need to talk to anybody? Why Nigerians? That was just the mindset. But there was the time I said, like, man, I don't even know anything about anybody. I don't know anything. And like when I had Joshua on the podcast, and I was like, that's why it never occurred to most of us that there were vacation spots on the continent. Like, we should be going to, if you want to go on vacation, you don't be asking your parents, like, hey, if you could afford it, you don't say, hey, can we go to this nearby country? Why would you be thinking of Europe, or you be thinking of Asia, or you be thinking of America? That's all your dreams, all your dream textbooks. Nothing was Africa. Only African Nations Cup. That was the only time we thought about Africa. You want to see the other countries.
No organization.
So, along with your still staying with your childhood, who were the first Congolese celebrities that you got to that were introduced to your life?
This is just so funny. As basketball, right? But Mutombo, like, and it sucks because it's like his game wasn't sexy, right? Like his game wasn't appealing because he's a giant. He's 7 foot, right? So, and then being a Laker fan, I'm in LA, so I'm a Laker fan. So it's like, well, he's not a Laker, right? So we would always go for him or whatever. I always, you always root for him. And Akeem Olajuwon. Akeem's one of my favorite players. That's another topic. But Akeem's game is sexy. Like, oh, it's beautiful, artistically, right? Like Akeem's incredible, very underrated. That's another topic. But the first Congolese celebrity, I mean, of course, I grew up on Franco. It was always musicians, right, Julien? Like growing up, like it was always that
was my expectation.
You know what I'm saying? It would always be like musicians or whatever. And then of course as I got older, like Fali and them, I'd be like, oh man, these guys are like, These dudes are great. So it's always like musicians. You know what I'm saying? It's all so all musicians pretty much. Was it like
different, Julien?
No, no actor. No, it's musicians.
I was I think I was probably when Awilo became big, which never ended, which has never ended for Nigerians anyway. Because you can't have a Nigerian party without Awilo playing to this day. I mean, his first album, not his current stuff. It's still his first album we play. But I think I was probably a young adult before I realized that a whole bunch of songs my mom used to play right from my childhood were Congolese.
Yeah,
a lot of the albums that we had at home were Congolese songs and tracks. So like I know Papa Wemba,
right,
it was huge. But it would take years for me to figure out, oh, these guys are Congolese. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm grooving to this jam. I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, oh, wow, there's a whole bunch of Congolese artists that it's like, so like now, like I'm playing on Spotify and Spotify recommend a song. I'm like, oh, let me just check this track. And I'm like, oh, snap, I heard this song when I was a kid.
Right.
Congolese. And I'm like, wow, if I go look it up, I'm like, wow.
But you know, it's funny, Ralph, you say that because like, then, like I like the example of Spotify because as we gotten older, like we grew up in the house, we heard all kinds of music, right? Mm-hmm. There's some, like I was listening to Magic System, and where are they from? Where's Magic System from?
Ivory Coast.
Huh?
Ivory Coast.
I've listened to them for years. I was just like, it's just good music. I don't know, like what I'm saying? Like it's like I was listening to King Sunny Adu. I was like, I didn't know he was like. I was like, he's just dope. I don't know.
I think that's the advantage of technology that we have today, because back then you just had to rely on somebody older to tell you, and if they didn't know what they were talking about, you just like, okay, yeah, that's a fact. They're old. Right. They know. But yeah, man, it was.
Go ahead, Julius.
So to me, I remember exactly how I realized, like how I discovered that my dad was a celebrity, because we moved from the place I was born, and then we moved into a new place in Molenbeek in Brussels, and so now we lived up. Our apartment was upstairs, and downstairs was the business, the restaurant. My parents had a restaurant. Uh-huh. And so I remember when everything was ready to go to, they were ready to run the business. So now, like the grand opening, I go downstairs, like I'm like 7 years old. And now I see photos of my dad with like always different people, black and white photos and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, so hold on, why is all these photos, like I don't understand. And then, this is where I get to discover that my dad was a famous person back in the Congo. And after the restaurant has been open, I get to see Papa Wemba, I get to see musicians, because down in the basement, we had a lot of space, right? So we had musicians that went, from Congolese musicians, whenever they had a concert, they would come and rehearse in our basement.
Oh, wow.
To see Papa Wemba. And Papa Wemba was actually happy because I already watched La Vie est Belle, the movie, Life is Beautiful, which is a classical movie, by the way, if you guys don't know. Classical movie with Papa Wemba. So now I know that, okay, my dad is actually, he's known, like he's a famous person. And this is how I discovered that, I realized that.
So you were getting free seats to concerts?
You
were getting free seats to concerts?
I don't know if I can.
You were. I'm jealous now. I'm like, let's trade places. I want to time travel. No, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful, man. You got to see one of Africa's greatest musicians and enjoy. Like, wow, that's
like, at that age, you don't really realize, but it's like later on, like right now, I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy. And mostly, I'm sorry, mostly also like I had a lot of like athlete from Congo, great soccer player. His name was Erumba, Vieux Erumba. He passed away a long time ago. Like politicians, Kabila's dad, the Mzee,
Oh, wow.
people like that. So yeah. Now I'm like, oh shit! I've seen like the history of Congo in my fucking restaurant. It's crazy. So those are the things I had to see early. Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah. Not everybody has stories like that. That was not what I was expecting when I asked that question.
We're sharing the journeys in here.
Hey, is the restaurant still open in Brussels?
No, closed.
Ah, man, I wanted to say, let me go there and say, hey, can I come chill here for like 1 week?
You can't go. You an American citizen. Nobody wants us.
Man, don't give that out. I'm just gonna be like I'm here on asylum, refugee status. I still got a few days before Trump gets out. I can claim that.
No, he's stretching it out.
Oh man. Oh. So yeah, this is just that's a great story there. Man, that I think I'll just go with this next question that I had I was going to save it for later on. But since you've mentioned some royalties with music and concerts, I just have to ask, you guys do a lot of skits and you touch on music also. So who's the best dancer amongst you guys?
Oh, listen, it's no question. It's Tshikuna. It's Julien.
Come on, No.
I don't listen. And this is what's great because Julien grew up in Europe, so he's still, technically closer to Congo. He's closer to Africa, right? Where here I'm in LA, and it's like
that has nothing to do though. I don't know.
Yeah. Jude, I think it does because like the way they dance here is so different. It's like
LA doesn't have even the hip hop dances. I don't think LA has any hip hop dance that
New York
that took over the whole genre.
Yeah, because you got to realize like the subculture of LA is Hollywood and gangbanging, right? Surfing, whatever. So like in hip hop, that's like the root of West Coast is like about like your street life. So don't really dance. You might boogie like little
I know, right?
Right, like a little bit, but it's like you know the whatever you from they walk. So it's like, but African music, it's like, and Southern music, like if you go to like I went to a college in the South where you dance to have like fun but here it's like no. So it's Julien because you know how to in Congo we have to move our waist. I don't know how to move it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Oh boy, man. Makosa, that when you start Makosa, that stuff at Nigerian parties, that stuff is responsible for population growth in not only Nigeria, a whole bunch of African countries.
Population growth.
If all these countries that are suffering that have a drought with population growth understood the effect of Makosa, they would have made that a national music. But they don't understand. They can come consult me. I'll be a Makosa consultant. And
Makosa consultant.
That was great, man. No, it's funny because I do think it's funny. I think it's you, Drew. I'm okay, but see, I like dance funny.
This is the reality, though. I'm not really into the Congolese dance music. I have some hips moves a little bit better. I'm not into like people are.
I think Jules is being modest, but I from what I've seen, I know Jules. If it's a matter of life and death, Jules gonna break the floor right now. He's gonna break the floor right now, and everybody gonna be like, "Woo, brother!"
Oh yeah, the next time we have a party, when there's a party in 2022, he's gonna be sweating on breaking Makosa. whole dance floor. Look at Julian. He knows how to dance.
I'll be there with my $2 bills. Spray.
$2 bills.
I take the money.
Hey, you can never go wrong with $2 bills. You just show up there, carry $200 in $200 bills. You do that. You go sit down. People gonna be like, man, that's a big baller there. Big baller.
Yeah, right.
The uncles they're gonna be like, that's what I'm talking about. People, we need people like this. Come to the party and he's spraying. They're like, he was only spraying $2. It's not $2. It's the way he did it. We need to like, yeah.
Right. That's funny.
That's so funny.
That's what you gotta do. If you go to any African wedding, just show up with your $2 bills.
Oh,
go to the bank, get your $2 bills, show up there, and make your one-time spray. Go sit down. Everybody gonna be like, "Wow, young man, I like you."
Last wedding I was at, I had $20 singles, but I just do it real slow so you look like a baller.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, he's really making it rain. Yeah, that's right.
That's it, man. That's it. It just, man. I think last was the last wedding I went to was in the UK, and I had my singles, and I showed up for the traditional marriage, and man, they were like, everybody there was like, oh, who got singles? I was like, how the hell you guys gonna be in the UK, a Nigerian wedding? Both couples are Nigerians, so all the friends are Nigerians, and nobody had singles. And they're like, I'm like, oh well, I have my dollars here. You know, you guys have pound sterling. I'm not trying to spend pound sterling.
Money, spray the money. The money.
They're like, brother, you have single dollars. Wow, you can't. I'm saying, sorry, I'm not like withdrawing the whole singles from United States to the UK. Everybody's like, can you change singles for £20? I'm like, brother, what the hell is going on? No. Oh man, I learned a lot. That UK trip was amazing.
It's the memory.
Yeah. So, when did you guys make your first trip to Congo?
I haven't been there. I haven't been there since I was 5.
Wow, that's been a while.
Yeah, I'm still. Prior to COVID in July, I was supposed to be in Congo, but then COVID came and it's like, oh, now pushed it back.
Oh yeah, COVID changed a whole lot for people.
Oh man, I'm excited and terrified to go back home now.
Why?
Because I'm so Americanized. It's like, I think if you go, like, Julian goes more frequently. Like if I would have gone like maybe every 3-4 years or whatever, I culture. You know,
okay.
Now I'm gonna go in there like, I'm a visitor. Say like, oh.
You what we call it JJC.
A fresh fish on the yard.
Yeah. they can smell it. They can smell it as soon as you get out the plane. It's like, they smell it. Right. There you go.
Yeah,
you can speak all the language you want to speak. They're gonna be like, bro, we know.
Right.
Well, if everybody is paying $5, what's the currency there? If they're paying $5, yours is gonna be $10 automatic. You're like, but hey, I speak the same with the same accent. Like, no. We can tell. We can tell you're JJC. Yours is $10. Just be nice to us. Be nice and pay. You come from America. You don't. And they'll tell you where you come from too. They're gonna be like, you come from America. If the next person speaks like you came from London, you'll be like, wait, what? Who told you? No. We can tell.
Right. No. And look, and Ralph, that's the thing. Like they'll tell by the walk. Like, yeah. Julian, I speak old Lingala too, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't speak this modern, like I don't have the slang. I don't know the slang.
You don't speak the 2.0 Lingala?
Yeah,
2.0
Lingala. No, on clearance. It's the one on clearance. You know what I'm saying? It's on sale. So they'll know.
Man.
No, like what is this? Like I have braces. If I still have braces by then, like he has braces. What? This is bougie. You know, American out of here.
Oh man.
Julie, my fault.
No, you good.
So
Jules, you used to travel frequently, right?
Yeah, especially between 2019 and 2020. Since my dad passed away. because
Oh, sorry to hear that.
life, man. Thank you. So he was buried over there. So I had to, obviously taking care of all these things.
Yeah.
And also 2011 was my first time in Congo.
Oh, wow. So what was that experience like?
Oh my God, that was actually, so I had to make that move. I don't know. I always believed that I had to go before moving to America. I moved in the US in 2012, and I always had in mind to move to the motherland first. For
Oh,
some
good.
reason, I don't know. For some, I'm like that. For some
Hey,
reason,
that was good that you did that, man. It was good.
So yeah. To answer your question, that was an amazing experience in terms of discovering the truth. It's good. The good thing is that I grew up right with the culture at home in Belgium, right? But now I had to experience like the reality.
Mm-hmm.
And just being there and see the reality of it, the family, the poverty, the culture, from a different point of view, from different angles. So that was an amazing experience.
Yeah, it's different when all you get is just being told, and you just see from far away. But when you get to experience it face to face, I think it humanizes the whole experience for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you can see the people as people.
Yep.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. Because it's one thing that I think some people don't realize, that we need to be able to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, not just only the good.
Exactly.
You need to see everything. So that's why going home is important. I haven't gone in a while though, but I left. I was an adult when I left, so I have a good excuse in my case.
That's how I really felt. I felt home for real. Like I felt some peace that I would never had experienced before.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I was like, okay, this is amazing. So this is home. And always I'm trying to find a way, if I can, like each year I have to make a trip. Now every year it's to go there, go to visit my dad's grave and stuff like that. So I always have a good reason to go to Congo.
You have to take Bileko and let him go experience.
Yeah, we were planning on to.
No, that's the thing. In July, we're gonna go to Canada. We're gonna go to Lubumbashi. Yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
And so my goal was, because my same thing. My father died. That's when I went when I was 5. So
okay.
I was. That's all right. Go to clean his grave, and then every year just go. Like from now on, every year you have to, because like I'm in LA. And I don't want to make it, it's not racial or anything like that, but like I like being around Black people. It's like cool, it's fun, like I'm being in Lamert Park. It's like very like Black conscious, and it's very cool. And I was just like, I want to go to Africa. It's like, oh, you're just around Black people. Like, oh, this is, I want to be home. You know what I mean? I want to feel that feeling. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm actually jealous when Julien says that. I'm like, man, I can't wait.
I think that's the mission I always recommend to my friend back in Belgium that never went, to Congo. And it's like a mission, because it is going to give you a strong sense of perspective. You're going to think different. You're never going to be the same person once you go to Congo for your first time, So
I tell people that it's not about, I think what some people fear or mistake is that when people tell them that you should go, is that they feel like, oh, you're telling me I should move. I'm like, no, I don't tell you that you should move, but you should visit.
Yep.
Especially for those who've never gone before. A visit is good.
Absolutely.
Go see and experience it for yourself. You can't read it all. You can't watch it all. You can't hear it all. You have to go see and build that connection on your own. Everybody's connection is not going to be the same.
Absolutely.
So you have to go build that connection on your own. And then from there, whatever you decide, it's on you. But it's everybody's journey, because not every two person have the same journey.
That's right.
Well
it has to be. But like for me, what I would like for me, I would like to go to Congo, because I haven't been to other African countries. And that's why I'm not crazy about going back to Nigeria. I'm like, well, I don't really believe Nigeria has anything for me. There are other places around Africa. I want to go see them. I've eaten Congolese food. I've eaten Senegalese food. I've eaten Togolese food. I've eaten other. Why am I not going there? I don't go there. It's like I always have to go back to Nigeria. I say no. I have to go to other places too in Africa. They exist. Let me go try and visit there, because that's another way of rewiring the brain too. Because the more I do that, I start changing. Also,
well, you know, that's interesting you say that, because I think us as like Black people, we don't do that. We'll be like, oh, I'm gonna go to, like, everybody went to Ghana for, you know, like the home, but it's like hopefully that opened up where it's like, I'm gonna go to Ghana, let me go to Senegal, let me go to Europe, let me go to Tanzania, you know, let me go to Congo, let me go to Namibia, let me go to, you know what I mean, all these different African nations, let me go to Zambia.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like there's 53 nations in Africa, and there's thousands of different tribes. So it's like,
but so last time someone mentioned, it said like 3,000 tribes, and I said, there's so much to experience, because you can't you can't watch what was that Beyonce's documentary. You can't just watch it and say, oh, I've seen the whole of Africa. I'm like, no, you you ain't seen nothing.
It's vague, because I use the same analogy like with the States, right? Like if you go to, like, we're the United States of America, you're in New York, I'm in LA, like that's such a completely different subculture. People don't understand like that's two different places. Like even like LA and the Bay, San Francisco and Oakland, they'll be like, oh, you California. I'm like, that's good. There's like two different worlds.
It is. It is. From everything I've heard, it is. I mean, I have a lot of Navy guys in San Diego, and it's like a completely different language they speak to people in LA.
San Diego's completely different. It's only 2 hours south.
Yeah,
completely. Like cleaner.
And you know, so it's crazy. Like we get to understand that over here, but we don't get to understand the same when it comes to the continent. So I'm like, you know what? Just go experience it. Then for some people just have to go see it for themselves. And then like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay, yeah, now you get it. Because you can't capture it in a 2-hour movie or 3-hour movie. You can't. It's not enough to capture. You know, like it's a dream that I hope I can get. I'm still working in logistics, but it's something that I would like to travel from Morocco down to South Africa, like go around the whole of Africa, man. I'll visit the whole African countries. That's my ultimate bucket list. Visit each and every single African country. Go there and just see for myself. Meet people, eat their food, shake hands, and then write whatever I'm gonna write. But it's something that it's now that I have a kid, it's a little bit tough. I have to negotiate with that little boss about when can I leave?
Right. A's and mask.
Oh man, I'm not worried about that, because I wear my mask and all that. But as a guy, it's also easier too. Right. But yeah, I'm not, at least with what's his name, no longer with us, Anthony Bourdain. I can be the Black Bourdain. You know, let me go be the African Bourdain and go do it. Yes. So before we continue, let me we're gonna pause for a little break.
Okay.
And it's just a little break, and we'll be right back shortly. Hi everyone, your host Raphael Harry here. I can't believe we've gone past our 1-year anniversary of doing White Label American. I've had the privilege of speaking with some amazing people, sharing their modern day immigrant stories. And you've allowed this Nigerian immigrant to share parts of his immigrant journey through this podcast. Also, one of my goals of this podcast is breaking down artificial walls that keep people from getting to understand each other. Based on your wonderful feedback over the last year, I think we have done a decent job in breaking down some of those walls. We would like to continue and expand on this mission, but we need your help. I've had an amazing time creating and producing episodes for this show largely on my own. We have a lot of ideas for new and exciting content to expand upon the mission, but we need direct support from you, our listeners, which is why we have created a White Label American Patreon page where you can make a one-time donation or become a sustaining contributor, where you can get access to exclusive content, help me interview upcoming guests by submitting questions, and even have the chance to sit down with me for a one-on-one conversation, either virtually or in studio. So if this podcast means something to you, and if you really love this show, think about becoming a sustaining contributor and donating by going to patreon.com/White Label American POD. Thanks for listening and for the privilege of your company. Bileko, you attended college in the South?
Yeah, in the South.
Julien, did you attend college in the United States or?
No, back in Belgium.
Back in Belgium? All right. So 2 different college experiences.
Oh, yeah.
When did you guys decide to, was it in college you started going into comedy, or when did the comedy part begin to open up?
That's interesting because I was in the 9th grade. That was a high school, and I had a Spanish class, and the teacher would make me get up in front of class, each student, and we would answer questions in Spanish. So I would answer the question in Spanish. She was a white lady. She said, I remember one day after class, because she was the 5th period, whatever period it was. And she said, Bileko, you need to get into improv. And I was like, what's improv? Right? She was like, oh, that's what like Eddie Murphy, Saturday Night Live, Mad TV, that's what they do. You are really good at this. She said, you have no conscience when you get up there. You don't care. I was just like, improv? So that always stuck in my head. Then before I went to school, went away to school in Virginia, I went to Norfolk State. I went to a comedy club, and I was just like, yeah, I think I can do this. One of my friends, they were like, come on, let's go to a comedy club before you leave for college. It was like a party or a gift or whatever. And that stuck in my head. And then after I went to Virginia for 2 years or a year and a half, I transferred back to Seaside, and I just started going to comedy clubs. So after class, I would just go to a comedy club. I was going to Julie, you know Ha Cafe? That's the first place I went. I went to Ha Cafe every day for like a year and a half, like 5 days a week. Just like I went, you know what I mean? Like, bombing, trying to be around it, get around it.
What was that first experience like on stage?
It was interesting because it's like, playing sports, it wasn't like you got stage fright. You're right. So it was just more so just get up there. But at the same time, I took a stand-up comedy class. So I had maybe like 2 or 3 minutes of jokes or whatever, where I was like, I remember, I think I was talking about like being African and whatever, and relationships and stuff like that or whatever. So it wasn't really stage fright. It was more so like, just getting up there. Because what happened was, now this is clear. I was pretty much doing my own rendition of Eddie Murphy Raw. Right? Oh, right. Yeah. Because, the best way for you to learn, you mimic somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. I was copying Eddie Murphy and Dave Chappelle. So I remember old jokes where I would have the same cadence. So I talked about an Italian dude. That's Eddie Murphy Raw. I'm not from New York. And in LA, we have an Italian community, but I don't know anybody Italian. So I was doing an Italian impersonation. And then I was doing some of Dave Chappelle's like cadence. Or whatever. Yeah. And then over time, you find your own voice, and still trying to find my own voice on my own stories. All right. Yeah. That was pretty much like copying Eddie Murphy and Dave Chappelle.
Wow. So what about you, Julien?
The beginning of starting comedy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So to me, it was like I was living with my sisters. This is right after I started getting back. You remember I told you about the coach that told me, "Oh, you still haven't performed." Okay, so this year actually at soccer, it wasn't doing good because I started having injuries. beyond my trainees and injuries. And then I was like, to be honest, like I was lost in life because I'm not the school guy. I'm the street smart.
Yep.
And then I start to think about what I was going to do with my life. And I went to live away from Brussels for a few months with one of my sister, just to clear my head and stuff like that. Right. So during that process, one of my nephew one night came home with a rental DVD. And at the same time, I will ask questions to the universe, to God, And I remember that night as if it was yesterday. So my nephew came home with a rental DVD of a French successful comedian. His name is Jamel Debbouze. Okay, so this is, we don't get to do that often. So let's play that DVD instead. So funny dude and shit. And in the middle of watching that show, I knew exactly what I was going to do with my life. This is crazy. It's like I had a revelation. I say, okay, this is me. This is a fact. This is who I am. And now all this thing came back, hey, what have you thought about doing comedy? Have you thought about doing this and that? Yeah. So it was just like making sense, Right. From that moment, I say, okay, I know who I am exactly, so and then like a week after, I went to France. So I started contacting my aunt in France because that was it. That was it. It's no back to my old life. Okay. And right. I need to pursue this. So I wanted to see the comedy scene closer. So I went to France since the comedy scene is bigger in France than Belgium. Mm-hmm. And just to have the experience, try to make some connection, try to get on stage.
Where in France did you go to?
Paris.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I went to Paris. I had a great year there. I lived there for a year with my aunt. I had a job right away at McDonald's. I've met great friends of great people. And I also, through an agency, I had my short film.
Oh, wow.
I got cast into a short film, which went into a festival over there in France. And after that year, I came back to Belgium because, my dad wasn't getting too young anymore. So I wanted to stay close to him and just still hustling, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At some point, I sidetrack again because I got into a relationship. And once I broke up, the dream came back. But now I was like, okay, hold on. I did that. I was pursuing it, but not 100%. But if I really want to do that, I really want to do that on a higher level. So I started having a discussion with my dad, and I was dreaming about going to the US. This is how I moved.
Wow! So it was comedy that pushed you to come to US.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow, that's really bold because, I know English. You didn't start with English as your first language.
Yeah, exactly.
And for someone like you, that's a lot of that's a lot of commitment and a courageous step to take to go into comedy. Because it's not like acting. Because if it's like acting, you were going into, so it's a lot easier to navigate the movie side of the business if you didn't start with speaking English. But with comedy, where your words and the language, you're navigating the language, you have to use that to capture the audience. You decide to go into that. That's a really bold move. So yeah, that's really big. So I commend you on that and following that dream.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you decided to move to America, and did you go straight to LA, or what city did you come to in America?
Yeah, I decided based on, since I grew up in Belgium, I know exactly what it is to have 4 seasons a year. The cold, I don't deal with the cold. I don't like, I like to experience that, but on a short time or on vacation and stuff like that. I grew up in that. So I was like, you know what? I want to go to the palm trees where is the sun and stuff like that.
Oh.
And was very attractive. And I was like, that's going to be pretty much also help me along the journey. To me, like the sun makes the journey easier. I was like that, so I was like, let's go to LA.
Oh, good, good. So we'll jump forward a little bit, and I'm not going. I was going to ask how you guys met, but I'll still ask it. But in a way, I want to ask, how did Bantu Boyz come to be, or how did Bantu Boyz get started?
We were at. So
gosh. In a way, you can tie that into how you guys met too. I believe in a way it might be related.
No, it's so we were auditioning at a comedy club at Ice House in Pasadena. There was probably like 50 comics, Julian, or whatever, because those auditions there's a lot of comics, right? Funny comics or whatever. So Julian gets up there, Julian kills. I'm watching him, and I was like, "Hey man, this guy's from Central Africa, right?" You could just it's funny because I like Africans we know, like it's weird. Like I could be like, oh, okay, like if he's not Nigerian, he might be from Togo, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you can just tell.
There's a sixth sense that we just have. Yeah. It identifies. At least it identifies the region that you're from. I mean,
like it's funny because like if a dude popped up right now on this comedy club and in this Zoom and he was from like Zimbabwe, I would be like, are you Zambian or are you Kenyan? Like you just know. I don't know what it is. I can't. So Julius
just know. Right? It's part of our evolution. We just know.
So Julius before I was just like, wait, this guy's from Central Africa. I was like, I could tell. And I was like, I started, you do the process of elimination in your head. I was like, it's not Gabon. I was like, is he from Brazzaville? I was like, let me see. Right. So Julian goes there, he kills. He leaves. It's the end of the audition. All the comics are talking to each other. I go up to him and I'm like, hey man, where are you from? And he's like, I'm from Central Africa. And I hate that. After because you know what it is? When non-Africans ask Africans where they're from, we go by region because we pretty much are saying you don't know what country it is anyway. So I'm just going to give you a vague region, right? Right? Mm-hmm. I'm from Eastern Africa, right? Because if you say like, oh no, I'm from Tanzania, you're going to be like, wait, what? Like like average American or whatever, right? So when he said it, I took his disrespect. I said Central Africa. I said, where are you from, man? I'm like. Where you from? Right? Don't tell me Central Africa. You know how big Africa is? Central Africa. Are you from Central Africa Republic? Are you from Gabon? Like, where are you from? So he was like, I'm from the Congo, right? So I started speaking Lingala to him, right? And then he said, like, yo, oh my goodness, you're Congolese. So they picture like 20 comics just around looking like, why are these guys? First of all, they're speaking a whole nother language. Like, they're like what's happening, right? Right. So June was like, I didn't know there was a Congolese person, let alone a comedian out here. And I was like, yo, there's been Congolese people in LA for like 40 years. Right? Like there's like a huge community here. He was like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, I grew up here, I'm from here, blah, blah, blah. I think that was in October, right? So we exchanged information. I think we followed each other on Instagram. And then we saw each other at, what's the comedy club on Melrose? Julian?
Improv.
Yeah, we saw each other at the Improv. Right. And I was like, man, we got to do something. And Julian was like, man, we got to do something together. I was like, we got to do something together. But he went to Belgium. I think he went to Belgium and Congo for Christmas, New Year's. You said, when I get back, I said, yeah, hit me up. We'll try to figure out something. So then he came back. I think it was February, March. I had my cousin Patrick. He was always like coming around. Like he's a lawyer, but he was always coming around supporting like the artistic side or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I think we can have a band.
It's all blessed.
Julian already had the name for Bantu Boyz or whatever. He's like, we should make this group. And yeah, so it's been a year and a half, year and 5 months or whatever. We've been like creating stuff, getting more into like, now we're getting more into like long form stuff. So yeah, that's how we like met. Man. Yeah.
Beautiful. You guys make great stuff. So
we're trying.
Yep.
We're trying.
Thank you, man.
I keep telling people, man, I actually introduced you guys to South African. Well, they're based in South Africa, but they talk to African podcasters too.
Nice.
The Culture recently. They're fantastic brothers too. Funny guys also.
I text Patrick, we got to get you on our podcast. When we start doing season 2, we got to get you on, Ralph. You're hilarious.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, man. That's my honor and my pleasure. I try and bring the game there. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try and get a Mobutu hat so I can look the.
Get the nice leopard. Look like yeah.
What they call them? PETA. They might come after me. The PETA people.
They're not going to Africa.
Hey, I live in Brooklyn. They're gonna come like, hey man, we had you skinned the cat. I'm like, hey motherfucker, leave this veteran alone, man. Coming to America too is coming out. Leave us alone. Zamunda, get out. Oh man. So you guys already have a podcast. You make content. When you guys gonna launch a football club, man? And I'm volunteering to play. Like I volunteer to play striker because I play striker in my dad's league, BL league, neighborhood soccer team. But I'm not promising that I'll be Tresor, Lomano, Lua. But if you guys start a football club, I can play.
Yo, I love this dude, man. Hey, look. First of all, that'd be the dream to have like a nice traveling football club, beating up other comics in the football league. That'd be wonderful. You know how great that'd be. I'm goalie. That's all I know because I know I'm American, so us in America we use our hands. I'll be goalie.
Hey, that's my. When I get tired, you find me in the goal. I'm like, yeah, I ain't doing running, man. I ain't making pro anymore. So either I'm playing offside, or I get tired of playing offside, and I'm like, okay, I'll go stay in goal post now.
Look, side note, as I've gotten older, I had more respect for football players because I didn't know they were running that much. I did not know it's running for 90 minutes. Like, just not run. No timeouts, nothing. I mean, you get subs, but y'all are just running. That's incredible.
Yep. I was playing in a 5-a-side indoor space, and man, that's like the ball can't go out. It's like bouncing off the walls, and I'm like, bro, man. As soon as we had like more dads show up, I'm like, yeah, we have subs. Sub me out. I score one goal. I'm like, out. Taking a break. They're like, you play for like 5 minutes. I was like, yeah. You seen this body? This body needs maintenance. I'm out. If I could afford to get Julien on loan, yeah, I could sign Julien to our team. He'll come be scoring for me, but I can't. It's difficult. We're not there yet. So, are you guys from the same region of Congo?
No,
that's why you're doing it better. No.
Julia, go ahead, Julian. Tell them where you're from.
No, me. So my both parents are from Kasai. So my dad was born in Lubumbashi.
Okay.
He grew up there and then escaped to move in Bandal. Bandal is like the city of actually a lot of artists that's from Bandal. Originally from Kasai.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is like Kasai. I'm sorry, Kasai. No. Mostly people like to connect Kasai with all these natural resources and like diamond and stuff like that. Those are the richest region actually in Congo.
Wow.
But I don't have any diamonds. I'm sorry.
Dang it, man! Why you on this podcast, man? Disqualified. Cancel that.
Julie, it's okay. We have none of the resources. Don't worry. Nobody that looks like us has any of it. That's neither here.
That's crazy.
No, like I said earlier, my father's from Kisanga, and I guess give people a math of Lubumbashi. That's South Congo.
Okay.
Yeah, that's South Congo where Julia's father is from. My dad's from Kisangani. That's like North Congo, like north sort of region. My mom's from Kinshasa, so the capital. So that's like west.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So yeah, and I guess Julian, you want to tell them what tribe or ethnicity you're from too?
Okay, so we are Luba.
Luba.
Luba. How can I start this? Okay, so the tribe, it's like the Luba. It's still from that region. Well known from being hardworking people. They're also well known for loving money. That's what they say.
Oh, so the Igbos of Congo.
They say Lubas are the Jews of Congo.
That's so it's like the Igbos. That's the Igbos of Nigeria.
No,
the Igbos of Nigeria actually call themselves Jews. They say they're the lost tribe of Israel. That's their mythology.
Luba. That's what they say. I don't know.
So
those are the Jews. Thank you. Okay.
And I'm Bakongo. Both parents. But my father, where he's from, Bakongo, they speak Swahili, so they'll be like, they speak Swahili. That's pretty much it. I mean, but how Africa is, where it's like, you're from this tribe and then ethnicity, but then they'll be like, oh, what clan are you from? It's a whole thing.
They
but also for people that are listening too, like, I hope they don't think it's like Julian's Luba and then I'm Bakongo. Like, we're everywhere. Because like Julian, I found out that there's like, my mother grew up with a lot of like Mongalas. So there's like that's another tribe or whatever. So it's not like, even though, you're from this region, like one of my two closest uncles, like my dad's best friends, they're Luba, Malubas, you know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's
I understand. I'm an Ijaw in Nigeria, but I never really stayed in my region where my tribe's from. But I grew up in the Middle Belt, which is closer to the northern Buhari's region. And I lived in the West with Yorubas briefly. I lived in Benin City with the Benin people. And I lived in Port Harcourt, where you have Ijaw, Ikwere, Igbo. And so I moved around Nigeria a little bit too. So, I lived with everybody. So that's why I have more friends from other tribes than my tribe. But you have to still try and be like, I'm for the people. So I'm for my people. And then, so that kind of, or you get canceled immediately. Like, what? You're not loyal. I'm like, it was not my fault. I was not around my people 24/7. You don't want to get married to a woman from your tribe? I'm like, I was around other tribes. What do you think was going to be attractive to me?
Right.
I never saw any Ijaw woman until all the Ijaw men I saw were like from my cousins or aunties, So I ain't gonna get married to them, right? I can't date them. The first Ijaw girl I tried to date, they're like, that's your cousin. Like, they allowed me to talk to the girl. Like, when I came back, my aunt was like, so I saw you talking to that girl. She's your second cousin by this, that. I'm like, you know what? This is why I don't even talk to Ijaw girls.
Right.
Disqualified.
Right. Disqualified.
And also, Julian, I'm from the part of Nigeria that has the most, the gold of Nigeria is the crude oil. So I'm from there too. And so I know how that feels, because people are like, oh, you're from Bayelsa, they have oil. I'm like, okay. They have oil. I'm like, okay.
Right.
Are you done? Right. People just getting excited, like, oh,
yeah.
From where they have oil. I'm like, at the same time, we are the poorest. So right. I don't know what what were you expecting? Like, oh, I'm going to tell you, I have an oil field. So, but I was so crazy that I went and joined the U.S. Navy with all my oil.
Like, I live in Brooklyn. Like,
I have access to the oil, and I'm not driving all the expensive cars and all that stuff because I'm just that guy. Oh man. So what's the cuisine? What cuisine? Are the cuisines similar from both your tribes?
Yeah, pretty much. Right.
So what's your favorite?
Sometimes the only differences is just probably maybe the way to do it. Like
okay.
maybe like changing some of the leaves into a dish to another one, you know, but it's otherwise is the same, I believe.
What about so there's this dish called like madesu, like beans, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And Maluba, don't you guys sometimes put sugar on it?
Some of them, but I don't. Personally, I don't.
Right.
But yeah, this is one of the examples, similar example.
Wait, like black eyed peas? The black eyed peas porridge or red beans?
Red beans. I mean, like white orange, but you put like red tomato sauce on it.
Tomato sauce, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant by black eyed peas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
like,
you know what's crazy? First time my cousin, who was born and raised in Lagos, comes to spend holidays with us. This was like around 91, 92. He was the guy who introduced me to rap. I was on reggae, jazz, and blues.
Feli Kuti.
Yeah, this guy, he was we cooked beans in the house. I still remember that memory. This guy was like, why are we just eating the beans like with gari, like from cassava, you know? He's like, no, I'm not eating like that. He gets sugar and sprinkles sugar on top. I'm like, what the hell wrong with you, man?
Right.
He's like, oh, my dad's friend came from America, and this is how he eats beans. This is how they eat beans in America. That's what he told us. Like, what? Who come people in America? Now, as soon as he just said people sprinkle sugar on the beans, that's the first that came to my mind. Like, this fool, he ain't no from Congo.
Hey, but you know what's funny, Ralph? Like when you ask that question about the dishes, like the differences, like this is where like the subculture of where you grow up. Like I grew up in that. I'm my food taste is so bougie. Like peanut, like is like prominent. Like I don't even say Congo, but Africa. Like peanut. Like I hate peanut. Like I hate peanut butter.
Yeah, I remember you saying that on one of your episodes. Like you hate
peanuts. I hate the fuck out of peanut butter.
And I was like, I want to fight you.
I hate it. All you Africans, black people that like peanut butter, you can fuck death row. Like, you know what I'm saying? You fuck bad boy. Like, I hate peanut butter. I hate it. You want to be down with peanut butter? F you too. I hate it.
You know the funny thing? I never knew about peanut butter other than in storybooks, because I never knew that peanut butter was a thing. But, you know, we call it granuts. So I knew of granuts. Yeah, granuts, the boiled granite, roasted granite, or granite soup. And granite soup, oh my goodness, dude. Just allow me to cook granite soup for you. I cook granite soup for you once. It's over, man. It's over. You're not going to hate you. This hatred, this hate crime you're committing will be over. You stop this hate crime. It's over. You do a stand up about how you love peanuts.
Look, I'm going to waste 2 hours of your time cooking this meal because it's going to go right to the trash. Like this.
with goat meat?
I don't eat goat.
You don't eat goat?
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Julien, what would do with this guy, man? What would do with this guy?
I'm the one on clearance. Like, you know, like if you want an African, it'd be like, oh, this one's on sale. That's what I am.
Wait, do you eat with your hands?
I'm like, who lied to you? Like, where are you from for real?
Right, the DNA test. I'm from like Peru.
He's from Brazzaville, not from DR.
Oh, I
with my African accent, for real.
No, you know, but that's the somebody said I'm diluted. Like you African, but you diluted. I was like, I'm so diluted.
Wait, but do you eat with your hands though?
Oh yeah, fufu. Yeah, I had fufu yesterday with fufu with my hands. Oh yeah,
okay. Because that's the difference. My elder brother, he was born here, and that guy doesn't eat with his hands. Hell no. The fufu, you say fufu, the guy is like bring fork. They're like, what?
No.
They bring fork.
No.
They're like, well, why you're not washing your hands? He's like, no, bring a fork. I'm going to use a fork. Like my woman who's German, you know, when I took her to visit my mom first time before my mom moved back to Nigeria, my mom was like, boy is here. Let me give this white woman water to wash. And my woman was like, Nigerians use their hands to to eat. So I use my hand to eat. My mom was like, "Hey, only my son doesn't use hand to eat in this house." He came in like, "Oh, fufu, hey, where's the fork? He's going to grab fork." My woman was surprised. She's like, "Wow, you weren't lying. I thought you were lying when you said he doesn't use his hands to eat fufu." He's like, "What? Why use your hands? Hell no, I don't." You can't.
And then even the kwanga, there's like the fermented cassava root that's a supplement for fufu. Oh no, I use my hands. Oh, I love it.
Okay. Well, there's still hope. There's still hope.
But it doesn't do the ball yet. Like the usual way is to do the ball with your hand. Like he do square.
What? Yeah. What is square?
I don't know, like a square with his hand. So
I don't know.
Bileko,
we need an intervention. We need to do an intervention for you.
No, when I go when I go back home, I'll learn. I'll be like, "Oh, this is how we do it." Okay.
You know what? I might have to come on this trip with you, so I see for myself. I don't think I'll believe the video. I want to see it for myself.
What? I love to go to Lagos. I'll tell you that.
No, Lagos is not. Lagos has amala, but yeah, you have to come to my region, come to my parts. So that we'll give you the real stuff there.
I love to. Yeah.
Come to Port Harcourt. Oh man,
Niger.
Oh man, this is
great. This is great.
COVID aside, do you guys have any plans to perform in the Congo?
Bileko.
It's so weird because that was the goal before COVID. Like we were gonna go to Ken and then go to Lubumbashi to perform for this nonprofit organization called Malaika.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, the goal was, and I don't know, Julien, we probably have to still talk with Patrick, but it's just like keep building this brand, and then hopefully we can try to like perform or shoot, some movies in Congo, because it's we feel there's a huge like interest for like filmmaking back home, sort of with an American eye. Because, here in the States, it's so not saying it's not professional back home, but it's so professional here. Where back home, you can go back home and do it, and there's not these restrictions.
Yeah,
you don't need to get a permit back home to shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the goal, barring COVID. Yeah.
So it's kind of like with Nollywood too. A lot of stuff you don't really need permits and all that to shoot.
But then because of Nollywood, or we have ours, we call it the Mabokes, where it's like
I never knew that.
Yeah. There's do they call it Kenwood?
No, Kenwood, is that not Uganda or Kenya?
Kenwood.
No, I think it's Kinshasa, because Ken for Kinshasa or whatever. There's something about or whatever, but there's a desire for our stories to be told, like our history. So whether it's a story on like a different of Lumumba or Mobutu or the Kingdom of Congo, there's a desire there.
I mean, Congo is huge, and there's lots of stories that should be told from there.
But just Africa, period. Like there's like we don't even deal with like African spirituality. Like that's one thing.
Man. Tell me about that. Tell me about that. That's a whole that's a whole different that's like a whole season unto itself. Of like content right there.
Because when you look out here, when they did Key and Peele did Get Out, and he did a little bit of like he deal with like science and like melanin and like black like body, like there's so much black scientific and black horror and spirituality that it's untapped.
Indeed. Yeah. I've mentioned this in discussions with friends and with people. Like we know a lot about mythologies from everywhere, and everybody has done. I'm not against people pushing their stories out there, and there's room for a whole lot of people to push their stories. A guy who's been on my podcast, he does something similar to people publishing their stories on his platform. Brian Asinja, he's from Uganda, and his platform is called Dream Galaxy. And he started at first with African stories, but I think now he's opened it to people from around the world to publish stories there. And he has an eye towards like from stories to moving content forward to visual content. And it's stuff like this because you know, there was a book that I read from we are listening to it on audio format from the Great Courses, and it was on Africa, Lucy to Mandela. I've forgotten African civilizations, Lucy to Mandela. I think that's the title. And then the second one was mythologies of the world. And I think the mythologies of the world, there were certain chapters that covered mythologies in Africa. And you see that because our history is so, except for Ethiopia, who had their own written language, and ancient Egypt, majority of us were all oral.
Right.
So when the missionaries came, that was where they were able to score one over us, because they were like, oh, we are writing your history for you. We're writing what we're hearing. But they started inserting their own Christianity into our stories. Because if you listen to that book, and that's why I recommend that book, because that book tells you from the beginning that there are lots of mythologies around the world, not only just Africa, that are oral. They tell you that the missionaries they got the stories thanks to missionaries, but you can tell which stories were changed from its original content, because like even an Aboriginal story, which is in a song format, the name that they are singing about is a Smith. You're like, how the hell is a Smith? What the hell is Smith doing in this story? It's a complete white guy they're singing about. So the missionary didn't even bother. He didn't even bother. In Ireland, they took the number. The Irish mythology had a lot of number 9s and 3s. So it was easy for them to just insert that into Christianity, and they sold Christianity to them. And same thing with Africa. Like I think one of the gods in Congo, one of the tribes in Congo were like a monolithic tribe when it came to their god. So they were able to like, oh, here you go. This guy is similar to Christianity, and wow. So they got them with that. And it's just so they've turned a whole lot of stories around. But it's time we start reclaiming it back, and we can start with content. And that's why I like what Netflix is doing. And with Netflix giving more African creators opportunities, I hope other streaming devices will take note and start throwing money to people in Africa, and give us the money. Give us the money. We don't need white people coming down there to come tell us our story. We've seen it. We're okay with that. Bye bye. Let us do the storytelling ourselves. We can do it. Yeah. So, that's good. And but if you guys had the opportunity to work with Nollywood, you guys will take that.
Yeah, absolutely. No question.
Nollywood?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
No question. Absolutely.
It's everything, like there is no limit, everything. Plus, especially, we're related to you and we're connected. This is the motherland industry. So with love, with passion and love, absolutely.
Yeah. Nollywood, South Africa, Uganda. Uganda has been doing, they got some interesting action movies there. Uganda, Malawi, they love shooting action movies there.
Yeah. I sort of noticed that. Pay attention to that.
Yeah. So,
how is Nollywood doing in terms of, like production and stuff like that, and
Nollywood? Well, I'm not the biggest Nollywood fan, but I'm impressed with the fact that some have started tapping into Netflix. So like there's Netflix Nigeria, and Netflix actually pays for content from Nigerian producers. So I know everybody likes to harp on the movie that Genevieve Naji sold to Netflix. The word on the street said $5 million. Yeah, if there's people can make movies with great quality, but there was a the thing is that Nollywood usually they make movies like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's like bam, 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 because with Nigeria did not have a theater culture for a long time. It was dead until about 98, 99 that theater started coming back through the guy who was a former senator. He's from my state, Ben Bruce, the Bruce family. But a former governor, had his eyes on creating a movie industry. So he built a studio, which is now dormant. It's called Tinapa in my region, but it's much closer to Cameroon, in Calabar. So where they have the big festival, Christmas festival. And people didn't buy into that idea. He was thinking that the federal government will back him up and will support the Nollywood industry because it was too expensive for Nollywood to go to use that studio. But like if they had subsidies from the federal government, they could use the studio. And if things had like actually I saw an interview with the former governor. He said initially when the studio was completed, there was plans with was it Disney or I've got one of the big studios here. Disney or Warner Bros. They were initially planning to shoot a movie in that studio, but the Nigeria didn't do what they were supposed to do, and they moved the production to South Africa.
Wow!
And so, but this was around 2011 that the studio was completed, and it's just sitting down, wasting. But if something like that had been running, by the time they were shooting Black Panther, you had a studio in Africa, a world-class studio, in place. They would have gone there. But but Nigerians don't think about the future. It's like, now, give me the money now, you see. But nobody thought it was just like this governor. So if you ask people say that governor wasted money by building that studio in his state. But he had already thought about tourism because his state is like has the least amount of oil. The South has the most oil in Nigeria. But his state out of the South states does not have a lot of oil. So he's like, I'm not going to be competing with the other states. Let me build up the tourism and then create something else as part of the tourism. And he added the movie studio. So he invested there. But in the future, people will be coming here to shoot movies. You can be doing, and but if that's something that is still sitting down there, somebody needs to go there and activate it and use it. But now that Tyler Perry has built a studio in Atlanta, everybody's not running there. First black studio, first black. I'm like, black studio already existed. Nobody's talking about that. And it's just like, we don't want to look at it. It's like I just say, a prophet is never recognized at home. So I guess that's something a big opportunity. But if they had known that Netflix will exist, Amazon Prime will exist, all these streaming devices will exist and be pumping money for content, they would have done what they needed to do back then, and that studio would be booming, and that will create jobs. That's jobs. That's a lot of. That's an economy for the states and for Nigeria, but everybody is only on oil. So yeah, it's one of those things.
People will pay. All right.
Yeah, they'll keep waiting on. But anyway, we don't have to wait. They'll wake up one day on that. But anyway, let's start wrapping up. You guys have done well, giving me a lot of your time. So
thank you.
For too long. But let's end on a bright note. So we've touched music already, but we haven't touched your favorites. So when it comes to the musician who inspires you the most, or the one that makes you dance in the shower or sing in the shower, because I know you guys sing or you dance or so. You don't have to dance on camera. It's okay. We're not recording. It's not a video podcast. But who's your favorite? Or you can name 3. It's all right. You can cancel somebody. No, don't worry.
Yeah. Go ahead, Julie. Go ahead.
Specifically from Congo, whatever.
Well, you can make it African, or you can go Belgium too. You can make it, you can Belgium.
Like 3 artists that inspires you and make you dance and make you want to dance and stuff, like the music. Wow, that's a good one. Man, it's tough. Huh. Go ahead, Bileko.
Okay, so all right. So for me, Tupac. Right.
Tupac makes you want to dance.
Hey, I love Tupac, man. Tupac, right?
I never heard of Tupac making people want to dance. I know Tupac makes people want to fight, though.
So,
I love Tupac too, though.
But you got Tupac. I'm trying to think. I got to represent Franco, man. Franco is incredible. All right, Franco. Number 3. You know what? I'm gonna say Kofi Olumide.
Oh, come on, Mopao.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna say make that. I'd have put Tupac in. I've been listening to Tupac all week, so I'm gonna put him in there. My region where I'm staying, LA. Go, Joe. I mean, I really can give you a 10, but
I know. You can give me from Belgium too if you want. I just want to get the Belgian artists that Julien will recommend.
Oh, honestly, in Belgium, yeah, the music industries, we have a great artist. But I would in Congo, Fali definitely is there. I like Fali.
Yeah, I got me some Fali,
and I'm proud of him. He's from Bandal, by the way.
Okay.
So Fali. His music make me want to dance, and I'm, he made it. Belgium. In Belgium, I think he's a musical genius. His name is Stromae.
Oh, Stromae, that's my man. I think his parents are from Rwanda, right?
Exactly. He actually very versatile.
I love Stromae.
He produced his own beat. He write. He does everything. So
didn't he retire from music?
He took a break and now he's preparing an album.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good. Yeah. We need more Stromae.
Yeah.
I love it. I love his style.
Stromae, and the third one, man, it's tough, but you know what? I love his music. I love his vibe. I love Wizkid. Yeah, that's my jam right there. Yeah.
Alrighty. Wizkid.
Not because of my job, but because I like Wizkid. This, like his music.
I like his first single is still my favorite. Pakoromo.
Which one?
His first single, Pakoromo. When he hadn't made name. When that was the first song he blew up with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the first song. He blew up with.
Yeah,
I like the video.
Okay,
the video was based on what really happened. He was supposed to go perform at a different party, and they sent Pasuma Wonder to the party Wizkid was supposed to go to, and then Wizkid was sent to the wedding that Pasuma Wonder was supposed to go to. So it kind of, the video is also funny because Pasuma Wonder is the older artist, and it in a way represents the handing over of the baton. And shows where the Nigerian music industry was at that stage, where it's like Wizkid was taking over from Pasuma Wonder, and he just blew up from that, and that video. I saw the video. Someone just sent it to me on YouTube. I was in Bahrain. Then I was like, "Oh, who was this guy?" I saw the video, and then I saw the interview where he said, "Oh, that it really happened." No, Pasuma Wonder's interview. Pasuma said it really happened, that they mistakenly gave him the wrong address. So when he got there, he saw that they were young kids at the venue. And he was like, are you sure you guys sent me to the right place? I thought I was coming to a wedding. And the Wizkid arrives at the venue, and they're like, "Who are you? You're not Pasuma Wonder. We that's the guy we have for this wedding." He said, "I'm Wizkid. I'll play it for you guys. It's one small, tiny, skinny guy. Like, I'll play it. When I sing, I can dance. I sing. Hey, they're taking my money and they send the wrong artist. Oh, no. And then he performs, and they're like, "Okay, this boy, he's okay. It's okay."
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down. Like, what's the name of the single?
Akurumo. I will send it to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I will send it. I would send you the video.
Sure.
I'll send you the video after we finish recording. So final question: what would you like to leave the audience with? You know, it could be a quote, could be a line from a song, or it could be a line from a book you've read, or it could be just a quote that you live by. Anything. You freestyle. It's up to you.
I got one. Just maintain your faith. Maintain your.
Good.
Yeah,
man. To me, no. Are you want to add something?
No, that's it. That's all.
To me, it goes, in the same sense within your direction, Bileko. So, I know that there's a global, situation in here with the pandemic and the corona that's going on, But I believe that this is like the best opportunity for the people that have, goals and dreams and try to do something else with their lives. This is like actually a time where you have to force yourself, even if it's tough, but you have to look at the good side of it, because we can't let that bullshit stopping us from living the life we want,
Yeah.
So, that will be my message. So positivity, no matter what.
That's right.
And then stay safe.
It's all about safety, man.
Absolutely.
It's all about safety.
Mm-hmm.
So I say thank you. How you say thank you in Lingala?
Oh, I know. How do you say in Lingala, Julia?
This is the thing about the Lingala language, man.
It's so bastardized. It's so...
No, it's because we forgot our own history, so we don't. So we use some of the French.
Oh,
from the French into the Lingala.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'll say
okay, so I just say merci beaucoup.
Yeah, merci.
Yeah.
That's my French is very bastardized. I never paid attention in class. I was that guy. So thank you guys for coming on the podcast. Hey, I'm honest about it.
Thank you.
I'm not going to win an Oscar so I can't tell any lie anymore. But thank you. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are fantastic. Please tell the audience where they can find you guys and how to get in contact with you if they need to.
Instagram, Facebook, you subscribe on YouTube, just Bantu Boyz, Bantu Boyz. And from there you'll be able to follow me, Bileko Wissa Jr., and you'll be able to find Julien, the Bantu Boy. Just follow the journey.
All right. And once again, man, subscribe to these guys. I'll have the links in the show notes. And they're fantastic. Good content. You never be sad, man. You never be sad, and they're great people. So thank you again, and thank you all for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and come back for the next episode. Thank you for the privilege of your company. Thanks for listening to White Label American. If you enjoy the show, we'll appreciate if you rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. If you have any questions, comments, or have someone who will be a good guest on the show, or you want to be on the show, send us a message at whitelabelamerican@gmail.com. And make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at White Label American. Thank you for your support.